Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. My first season was as a scuba instructor in Club Med Turks and Caicos in April of 2014. Fun fact number one, before Club Med, I went to Capilano University in Vancouver, BC, and I have a degree in tourism management and outdoor recreation. I also have certifications in sports sciences as well as diplomas in administration and accounting. Fun fact number two, I have held a lot of jobs in many different fields. I was a promoter, seller, and accountant. I was also a sports athlete and coach, bartender, server, office manager, and I even worked with the elderly. Fun fact number three, I worked as a financial accountant on cruise ships as my main job, but I was also a Dora the Explorer impersonator for kids at breakfast time. My name is Jennifer, and this is my first season.
Jennifer, how are you?
Yay, I'm good. How are you?
Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
This is going to be fun because you look like you've led many lives, or you sound like you've led many lives from your intro. So, okay, I don't know where to begin with you. Okay, well, let's start. We know you're from, I'm guessing if you went to school in Vancouver, that you're from British Columbia.
Actually, no.
No?
I'm from Quebec City.
You are?
Yes, I was born in Quebec City, and then I moved to British Columbia, actually in Whistler, when I was 17 years old to go skiing.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Okay, so now are we allowed to talk about the origin of your last name then? Okay.
Sure. I mean, it's Irish. It has nothing to do
okay,
with it,
got
but-
it. Okay, I think I know where this story goes. So maybe a lot of people don't know, but when we go see a movie in Canada, before the movie starts, we're given this National Film Board tourism. So there was a big Irish immigration after the Irish famine to Quebec, right? I mean,
Yes.
and they took in a lot of immigrants. And the thing was that, they were allowed to keep their name. So is this similar to your story? Like, does your family go way back?
I mean, I wish I could say yes, but to be honest, I have no idea. I know my grandfather came from Ireland and was working on the train lines.
Okay.
And that's pretty much as far as the story goes.
Okay. But Jennifer Keys, it is definitely Irish, right?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. All right. Alors, tu parles bien le français, alors?
Oui, je parle bien le français.
Why? Nice. Okay. All right. Okay. So why did you decide to go into a degree in tourism and outdoor recreation?
Well, I grew up in Whistler, basically. My main years of growing up, finding myself and whatnot, I was working in Whistler Village. So that was basically just tourism and outdoor recreation. So once I found out there was a program that was literally this, tourism management and outdoor recreation, I decided to apply, and then I got in and I went.
Okay. Did you really study, or were you skiing all the time on Blackcomb or whatever mountain? What mountain were you skiing at when you were doing your studies?
Well, both Whistler and Blackcomb, but
All right.
University was down in Vancouver.
Okay.
So I was not skiing while I was at university. I was an actually very great student.
Oh, okay. Now I'm going to put you on the spot here. Which has better
for it.
skiing, Mount St. Anne in Quebec City or Whistler or Blackcomb?
Oh God, Whistler, no doubt.
What? Whoa. Okay. Right off the
Yeah,
bat. Okay.
Of course.
That's what I hear. Okay. But I just had to ask. Okay.
Right.
Okay. But at one point, so you're skiing, you're getting a degree. But at what point do you go, hey, I'd like to try scuba diving? How old were you when you did your first?
I think I was I was in 2012.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I don't know, make the count. But yeah.
Okay.
It was
So
2012.
it wasn't when you were a kid, like 9 or 10 years
No,
old?
no, not at all. I always dreamed of seeing the ocean because in Quebec City, let's be honest, we do not have ocean.
Yeah.
Also in Whistler, I mean, it's great, it's beautiful, but it's not the ocean. You have mountains and Great Lakes, but you don't have the ocean. So it was always a dream of mine to see the ocean. And 1 year in 2012, I went with one of my best friends to Hawaii, and we tried snorkeling for the first time. And literally, once I put my face into the water, I knew right away that was it. I wanted to be in the ocean.
Okay. Well, our stories, or this is where our stories diverge, because I got certified in scuba, not as instructor as you did, but everyone starts at the beginning, right? You're either NAUI Open Water 1 or PADI. So when you're sitting in that classroom and, gearing up because you got to do all this theory, and then you find out the many ways things can go wrong underwater. Many ways. Did you have any second thoughts, or you're like, no, I'm just going to be careful?
No, I don't think I even ever had doubts about it because you get
Oh, really?
so
Okay.
well.
Okay.
Like we get trained to literally any situation possible. So you get really, really well trained and prepared to any situation. So no, I was not worried at all.
Okay. Now, did you do your checkout dives? Let's just say, are you Naui or Patty open water
Patty.
one? Okay, Patty. Did you do your checkout dives in Hawaii? Did you go back or did you do them in Vancouver?
I have not had the chance to go back to Hawaii and dive. I actually
Okay.
had a diving accident back in Turks and Caicos when I first started. So I have not dove since.
Okay. No, but back then when you were taking your open water one class, I mean, because when I did mine with my friend, he up and left me to go to Florida to finish the checkout, the to get certified, and I had to do
Right.
mine in the Riviera Rouge where visibility is zero. So I was just curious, did you do all your dives in Vancouver? Like every
Yeah, we did them
Okay.
all in cold water in Vancouver in dry suits. But it wasn't bad at all. We did have visibility once you pass maybe like 30 feet, and then you get to dive with sea lions and orcas, and you have such a diverse marine life down there that it's insane. Like squids and whatnot. It's crazy.
So, and another one of your lives, because I love your fun fact number 3, saying you were a financial accountant on a Norwegian cruise ship. That was your main
Right?
job. But so,
Yes.
how does it happen that you do you volunteer to be Dora the Explorer?
Oh yes, absolutely. Like I went hands up straight for it.
Okay, but please God, say some short employee dressed up as Boots too, and as there's a photo of this, please say there's a photo. Okay.
There was a short employee dressed up as Boots, but
Oh,
I'm
thank you.
not sure
Okay.
if I have a picture. I know because it
Okay.
was Nickelodeon. So we had SpongeBob and Patrick. Um,
Oh, okay.
right. But there was somebody in Boots. I think his name was Sid.
Okay.
Anyways, but yeah, it was a small Filipino guy, so nice, so funny. But yeah, he
So
was my little Boots.
so now when the live action movie comes out in 2019, Dora and the Lost City of Gold, were you excited about this?
Of course.
Okay. Okay. All right. So so you get a degree in tourism and outdoor recreation. I'm sorry, listeners, but she's got such a convoluted story. When you applied to work on a cruise ship, because you already had a certification in administration accounting, you decided, well, I probably have a good chance of being a financial accountant on a cruise ship. Is that what made you apply to a cruise ship?
When I was looking at the job sites, actually, I was looking to work in entertainment, but I couldn't find anything, which the cruise ship life is very different. But then I saw accounting and I was like, meh, why not? So I applied, but I may or may not have harassed the HR department of Norwegian to hire me. So once they hired me, I literally went straight for a financial accountant position, not even assistant or anything. I think due to the fact that I may have harassed or not the HR department.
Okay. And how long did you spend aboard the cruise ships before
A
applying?
year. They're
1 year.
yearly
Okay.
contract. Yeah.
Oh, a year contract. Where did you sail to? What was
Oh
it?
wow. I did so many because I was Canadian, right? So you're not as restricted as other nationalities to be moved around different ships. So I started in Seattle and then we went the Alaska run. And then I got transferred straight away to Europe. So I did all the Mediterranean Sea, so Venice and Greece, Croatia, Portugal, Spain. Then we crossed over to New York, and then we did the Panama, Costa Rica, Cabo San Lucas, St. Thomas, Saint like all the islands down the Caribbeans and the Bahamas. We did that, and yeah, that was pretty much that. That was a lot.
So Jen, so at what point in your life or how early in your life did you find out about Club Med or hear about Club Med?
Well, that's what my dad told me. So apparently when I was younger, when you go to the bathroom when you're young, your parents usually stack a stack of magazines on top of the toilet, and then you do your business and you go through the magazines and whatnot. So at that point of my life, I must have been like 4 or 5 or 6 years old. I don't know. My dad would receive the Club Med magazines every month for the different villages and the different room decorations and whatnot. So I would be in the bathroom and then I would go through the magazines and then I would pick a room from one of the room of the villages that I liked. And then we would have to redecorate my room to that specific room. So I guess I knew about Club Med once I was 4, 5, 6 years old, but I didn't actually know about it until later on when I was doing my degree in at CapU that my course director told me that there was this program that would take internships into Club Med Turks and Caicos. So once I got there, that's when my dad told me, see, I knew you would always end up in a Club Med because when you were younger, blah, 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 and so on and so forth.
Okay, and just for any young listeners listening, any 20-year-olds, we don't take magazines in the bathroom anymore. We take our phone, right? Which probably has magazine subscriptions on the phone.
Right.
But yeah. Okay, so are you saying you did an internship at Turks?
Right. So when I started scuba, it was for an internship for my degree, and then I ended up just teaching scuba diving there.
Okay, but were you already an instructor when you went there?
Yes. But to complete the actual degree, you need to perform, I think it was 30 hours of teaching underwater, and then you get your actual certificate and whatnot.
Yeah, but how crazy is it that you were already an instructor? They send you to a scuba diving village. I'm a current student, and none of my internships are this easy. Here, go.
Well, it's a program.
Yeah, go do something you love. You go in the beautiful water at Turks. Come on. You got credit for this? Oh my God.
Yeah, I did.
I've been going through hell the last 7 years part-time at Concordia.
I know.
All right. So how long was your contract? Like 6 months there?
For the scuba diving?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 6 months. And then I think it got shortened because then I moved straight away as a GO.
All right. So help me out here. So I stopped in 2005. So I'm told that maybe in all villages that scuba diving is now outsourced, right? So if you're an instructor, you're kind of, it's another company that.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think like boutique also in many Club Meds, it's not part of Club Med anymore. It's kind of outsourced. Yes. But scuba diving is now outsourced. I think it's because of some laws and for laws and regulations of PADI. But I don't know when exactly it got outsourced, but by the time I went there, we were not GOs. We were literally the scuba instructors. So we did not have to eat with the guest. We didn't have to do the crazy signs or the welcomes.
The shows.
We didn't have to do any of that. We would literally just show up at the desk and then go dive, give people the certifications, and then just go on with our life. We would stay in the resort, but we would pay to stay in the resort.
Okay. So after this season, this is April 2014. So when you go home, are you bit by the bug? Do you want to continue?
I did not actually go home at that point. So I became a GO because of Kevin Batt and Hammer. So they came and visited Turks and Caicos while I was there as a scuba instructor, but I was acting as a GO. I didn't have to. But I was doing the shows. I was eating with the guests because I was having such a great time meeting all these people. And I was just loving the GO life. And
wait a minute. You're saying that you didn't have to do the shows and you did?
Yeah.
Oh, God. You're living the dream. What are you doing? Okay.
I loved it. It was so good.
Okay. Now, so you could dance, I'm assuming, like you were.
Oh, God, no. I cannot dance if it's not choreographed.
Oh,
if it's
okay.
choreographed, no problem. But
that's what I used to say before Club Ed. I could probably freestyle pretty good on the dance floor, but as soon as I had to learn choreography, I couldn't freestyle dance anymore. I need someone to tell me what to do. Go there, count to 8, turn, pas de bourrée. I couldn't. I don't know how to dance anymore.
Right. Oh my God. But I loved it.
Now, had you heard of Hammer and Kevin Batt before?
Oh, I had no idea who they were.
Oh, really?
I had no clue. But we were having a drink at the Sailing Shack in Turks. And the chief of village at the time, Mike Clark, was also there. And we're all laughing, having a good time. And then they actually thought I was a GO. And then they asked me, where do you work? And I was like, oh, I'm in scuba. And they're like, what? So they literally told me, whenever you're ready to become a GO, you just let us know and we'll make it happen. So I think it was 2-3 weeks later, I became a fitness GO.
In Turks.
Were
you replacing someone, or that person was their time to go home, or?
I was replacing somebody, yes, but I think it was end of season. So it's kind of the changeover and they hadn't found a fitness GO. So that worked perfectly because I believe somebody was working in the kitchen that wanted to go scuba. So they kind of just made the switch. Okay.
So wait a minute. So you're a scuba instructor. You're Dora the Explorer impersonator. So at one point, how did you learn how to teach aerobics? Is that what you were doing, aerobics?
Yeah. I I learned how to teach aqua gym from another geo.
Oh God, yeah.
Which I loved. Again, it was aqua gym with aquagen. It was fantastic.
What gen? Okay.
But everything else, I kind of just got it off the bat because I was a sports athlete before and I coached a lot of sports also. So I kind of had the basics and then I just went on with it.
What sports did you coach before?
I was high level skiing.
Okay. Downhill, slalom, just anything?
Downhill, slalom. And then I moved on. When I moved to Whistler, I moved on to a half pipe, slope styles and whatnot.
Half pipe on two skis or snowboard?
On skis.
Okay, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of fitness were they doing in 2014? Was it Zumba? Like what, I know it wasn't step, right? So what?
No, we did not have step. We had stretching, we had Zumba, we had aqua gym, we had abs and butts, we had like how to lift weight. Oh my God, what else did we have? We had power cardio. We had running. Oh my God, we had so many things and it would change all the time.
But what were you doing at the sailing shack with these ex-chief of villages? Were you also helping out sailing too?
Not at that point. At that point, I was literally just hanging out. It was one of the nights at Sharky's and then we were just having a drink at the shack. And that was pretty much it. Did
you learn how to sail in Club Med?
I sure did.
Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. You seem like an overachiever to me. Is this right?
A little.
Okay. Okay. And who was your chief of village the time that you were in Turks and Caicos?
Mike Clark.
Oh, Mike Clark. Okay.
Yeah.
Where's he from?
Australia.
Oh yeah. Okay. Love Australia. Love all Aussies. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, anything like, did you have any, I guess you'd already traveled a lot, right. in Norwegian cruise. So you probably didn't have any culture shock. I was curious if you had any Club Med culture shock when you got there, or you didn't because you were so well traveled.
I don't think I had any culture shock in Turks. That's for sure. My first couple of seasons, I don't think I had because again, I love people and I have so much energy that it was just the right fit.
Okay. And I'm seeing by the list of villages that I asked you to supply me with that. Am I right? Your second season, you went outside the North America zone. Is this true?
It's after my second season. Yeah. So I did a full year as a geo in Turks, but I had done half a year before also, like when I did the switch from scuba to fitness. And then, right after I went straight to China.
Okay. Now, before we get to China, do you have a JoJo story?
Of course, everybody has a JoJo story.
Okay, I'd like to hear yours, please.
So when we were in Turks, at that point, I was now a sailing geo because I went from fitness to sailing. And then, in Turks, how you bring the boats in, like when the wind is good, you come in straight and you just land on the beach.
Yep.
So as we're waiting for one of the getaways to come in, we were waiting in the water because that day was just so warm and hot and awesome. And just the way the beach Turks is. We were literally waiting in the water for the getaway to come in. And you know how JoJo loves to follow the ripples in the water? So it was actually following the getaway from the back. And then as we're welcoming the getaway to the beach, literally JoJo just falls into my arms and just stays there. I think I started crying like a baby and just like petting it like a little dog. And oh my God.
What? Really?
Yeah, it was awesome.
What? That's not fair. I had to swim with him 5 months before I even got up the nerve to touch him, but he never came in my arm. Oh, are you serious?
I mean, he just landed there. Like he was following the getaway from behind and he was just there.
Wow.
It was awesome.
That must have been incredible.
Yes.
Holy cow. Jeez, that's pretty lucky. Well, it can't get better than that. So
oh no, you can't. Definitely not. But then I think that was like the last time I saw JoJo. Like that was it.
Wow, it's crazy. Like how long they live. I was there in '94, and
and he's still alive.
And he was already there 10 years before, and when that club opened in '84. So yeah, this is insane. Okay. Wow. All right. So how does someone who does a year at Turquoise immediately jump to China for their second season? Did you request that? Did you follow a chief of village there? How does that work?
I'm not sure. I got the affectation to go to Phuket at first.
Okay, wait. Now, did you ask to go to Phuket? Like, did they do like a dream sheet?
Outside.
That's
all we asked.
Okay, so because in I Day they do a dream sheet, they ask you, give me your 3 top villages. Is that what you did?
Right.
Okay.
No, I just asked to go to another village, whether it was American Zone or wherever.
Really?
But again, at that time, I was such an eager and new GO, and I loved my aqua gym that if you would go on TripAdvisor from that year, from Club Med Turks, you would probably see my name in every single review. Like I had no shame in asking people to go put good reviews on TripAdvisor. So probably that had a big weight into the decisions of sending me outside of the zone. I'd like to think.
Are you saying that the Club Med like head office saw these people? Okay.
Yeah.
Mentioning Jen. Okay. All right.
I think that had a lot to do with it.
So they offered you China?
Yeah, so they offered me Phuket at first, but I had a Club Med boyfriend at the time, and then he did not get the same village, so we said no. And they offered China after, and we said yes.
So wait a minute. You go to Turks and Caicos, the biggest and only singles village there is, and you immediately get a boyfriend. Am I hearing this correctly?
Oh, but I did 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So. Now, was this village in China? Was this because I'd never heard of the one? How do you pronounce it again?
It's Guilin.
Guilin, and this is a mountain village. You said, right? It's
a mountain village, but it's not a ski village. So they do a lot of rock climbing, bicycles. There's a little bit of golf. There's a golf course on the resort. There is circus, obviously. There's no sailing. There's no water activities, but there's everything else like fitness and soccer and everything.
Now, is it during their summer? Is that when you were there?
I went in their winter, which is there's no snow, but it's just very much raining and wet.
Oh God.
Yeah.
This sounds horrible. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's not horrible. It's just different.
Well, what's oh my God, what was your jet lag like? You must still remember the jet lag.
Oh right? God. Well, at first, once you get there, it's not that bad because you're so excited. First of all, you're going to China, which is just a different
but tell me, give me your route that they flew you. I like hearing this. How did you fly?
I think my going flight wasn't that bad. I did Quebec, Toronto, and then I think it was Toronto, Shanghai right away. Or Toronto, Guangzhou. I think it was Guangzhou, and then Guangzhou, Guilin. It was just that I would have layovers of 8 hours in Guangzhou.
So you're probably 24 hours or more it took you to get there, right? I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah. Just the flight itself. Like they do now Shanghai, Shanghai, Montreal direct. And I think it's 21-hour flight.
Oh God. Okay. I'm gonna stop talking about this because I'm getting sick. Now, was this village brand new? Like, were you the first one to open it, or had it been open?
No, it had been open for I think 5 years at that time.
What? Really? Wow, I'm out of touch.
Yeah. Okay. It was new. Like it was a new village, but not brand new.
Who was the chief there?
It was Mehdi Kamali.
Okay. Now, prior to going there, could you speak Cantonese or Mandarin?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay, so
not a word.
Okay, so here now we're going to get into some culture shock. I'm guessing, right? Okay. Yeah. So, what was your first, if you can recall, what the first culture shock you experienced being for the first time in China?
Well, my first culture shock was not as bad as the second. So let's put it that way.
All right, let's hear the first.
My first culture shock was just the wording, because in Mandarin you have a lot of intonation, right? Mm-hmm. So the way you say certain words could mean a complete different meaning. So for example, when you join a table as a GO, you go see the group of people you want to eat dinner with, and you go, "Hi, my name is Jennifer. May I join you for dinner?" So in Mandarin, you would say the same, but you need to get the right tones, because we had a convention. There were some people renting the village and they were young gamers. I have no idea what games they were playing, but it was video games. And so they were all young and having a lot of energy, and there was a good vibe in the village. So once I got to the table, I asked them in Mandarin, I thought, "Hi, can I join your table?" And then they all started laughing, and thank God they also spoke English. So they all started laughing. I felt really, really tiny in my pants. I felt so short and so shy. And then I asked them, like, "Why are you guys laughing in English?" And they're like, "Well, you need to work on your tones." I was like, "Why?" And like, "We know you want to ask us, can you join us for dinner? But what you actually said was, can you join me in my bed?" Oh, and I went, "Oh my God." And then there we went. Like everybody started laughing, and then we had a good time. And thank God we finished dinner in English.
Do you remember how to say that phrase at all? Can we hear it?
Shui ma.
Shui ma. Okay. Shui ma. Okay. Now, did you did you pick up the language? I mean, I know to me, it's the hardest. When I was my 1 year in Asia, it was the hardest one. I thought Japanese was easier, Korean was easier, but I couldn't get. So did you manage to get fluent at all? Is that possible in the short time you were
I
there?
think it's possible. I definitely think it's possible, but me, I was definitely not fluent. But I can definitely teach you still to this day a full trapeze lesson in Mandarin. No problem.
Really? Let's hear some of it.
茶台起来勾上去.
Okay. Wow. Okay. You have a pretty good
Like
accent.
that's what you need.
Okay. So here's maybe it might be a difficult question. So how do you know when to use, again, because I spent a year in Asia, how do you know when to use if you're sitting down Mandarin or Cantonese?
Well, you don't really know.
Yeah.
I never knew.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it's not easy at all, right? I mean,
yeah, no. Oh God, no.
All right. Now, but I guess because you're doing fitness there, right?
In Guilin, yeah.
So I guess you don't really need much of a language. They're following you, right? I mean,
yeah. And again, fitness in China is not the biggest activity. So many times I would have nobody in my classes. So I would go on and help the circus team.
And I'm guessing the majority of GMs were from China, right? Did you get any European guests at all?
We did, because there's a lot of expats in Shanghai, and a lot of them are from France, so they know about Club Med. So when they come on vacation, they come to see us.
And when you met your first Canadian guest, did you cling to them?
God, I did I cling? I think we still talk on Messenger to this day. Like 5 years later, we still talk.
Okay. Yeah, same experience. All right. So are you now learning circus in this village?
Well, I did learn a little bit of circus in Turks because they needed help with the shows, and I was helping them out there. And then in Guilin, I learned a lot more working the platform at trapeze and whatnot. Because again, there was never many GMs in my classes. So I would go and help out the circus team. And then they always needed help with the mini club, like a geo on the platform, or helping out with the ladder and whatnot, or giving the lessons on the ground. So I started getting into circus at that point.
And did you, because I had to learn the noodle. Now, did you ever learn the noodle, and did you almost fall off like I did the first time?
The noodle. Oh, to go get the bar?
Yeah. Yes. Well, that's what they called it there. They even warned me about the weight.
Yes,
I'm like, yeah, I got it. And then so did anything, or was no problem there for you, I guess?
No problem there. But the cool thing in China is because there are so many kids, and then we have time. So we literally make the kids roll on the trapeze like no tomorrow. It's one after the other nonstop. Of course, it's safe, but it's one after the other nonstop. So you got to get good with the noodle. You don't have a choice. It just comes right now. It's just muscle memory for me too. Like I'm talking about it and I'm doing the noodle move.
Yeah, if I do the noodle move, I get arrested. Anyway, so what was your best what do you call it? You don't call it a stunt, right? Like not knee hang catch.
My best trapeze trick?
Yes.
I mean, in Guilin or
now? No, in general, in all, like what's the one you're known for?
I guess my hawk salto.
Hawk salto. Okay, boy.
Is this
a new one? I never heard of this one. Jeez.
I don't know how it was called before. I guess it's a 1.5.
Okay.
But no, it's not. Yeah, it's not the same because you got 1.5 to legs, but you would basically go in a knee hanger or hawks off. Mm-hmm. And then once you let go of your hands, you actually do a backflip and then to catch.
Okay. Wow. All right. This is okay. And now you were there for what, 6 months?
In Guilin, yes, I did 6 months there.
And then I see you go to another village in China called Dongao Island. Is that right?
Yes, Dongao.
And this is is it a large island or small island?
It was a very, very tiny island. All you had on the island was the port and the Club Med. That was pretty much it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm guessing, did they have sailing and scuba diving or just sailing?
They had sailing. I don't know if they have scuba diving in China, in the Club Meds anyways.
Okay.
I don't think they do.
Now, how did you get that opportunity to go immediately from like one to another?
Again, I'm not sure. It kind of just happened. I think this one, actually, we got offered to go to Yasmina in Morocco, but we did not. I don't remember why. So we ended up in Dongao Island, and then we got promoted. So I went as a water activity supervisor there. And yeah, we were in Dongao.
Who was your chief there?
In Dongao, it was, I have a blank memory.
No problem. We can.
Julian. It was Julian Tive.
Okay. No, I know what New Year's is like in Club Med, but what's Chinese New Year like in China? That must be pretty huge.
Chinese New Year is awesome. There's so many activities. They have the dragons, like the dragon dances, the Chinese dragons. It's awesome. They have so many fireworks. They have a lot of food. So
okay.
You eat a lot.
So let's get to your food story, because I hear you have a chicken soup. Maybe is this the culture shock moment?
That was my second culture shock. It's very embarrassing too.
Which resort did this happen in?
In Dongao.
Okay, let's hear this, please.
Oh my God, it's very embarrassing. But so I was not used to Chinese culture. Like I was already 6 months in China. I knew how the Chinese culture was a little bit, but not as extended as I thought I did. So anyways, that being said, when I guess Americans too, but us Canadians, when we feel a little bit under the weather, all we want is that Lipton chicken noodle soup.
Yes.
Literally, when you're cold, in American too, right? In the United States, you guys probably want that too. So it's chicken Lipton noodle soup. That's all you want. So I was very under the weather. I was not thinking straight. We walked into the restaurant for lunch, and it's rush hour at lunchtime. So all the guests are there, all the GOs are there, everybody from the kitchen is there, and the chef is there also. The chef was Mauritian, so we were very good friends too. And then I told him, I was like, I'm not feeling very good. Like, do you think you have some chicken soup? Which I didn't think of the words I was using, because to me, it's normal, the Lipton chicken noodle soup. But I mean, we don't have that in other cultures. So he was like, oh yeah, it's just over there. Like, go for it. He gave me the bowl. So I went into, you have those giant mermaids that, the soup is in Club Med. So I went it with the spoon. I went all the way down to the bottom. And then what I pulled out was the actual feet of the chicken. And I think I screamed as loud as somebody was getting murdered, because I got so scared. I was not expecting that at all, it's normal in Chinese culture. They eat chicken feet everywhere. They have them in different ways too. But to me, that was not what I was expecting coming out of that marmite. It was literally chicken soup, which is what I asked for, but it's not what I was expecting. I literally dropped the bowl on the ground and went everywhere. Everybody started laughing, because also at the time I was blonde. So people with blonde hair in China is not very regular that you see this. So Chinese people are always, they know you're a foreigner. So they kind of help you out, guide you where you need to go. So that was very much embarrassing.
Okay. Well, you mentioned, at one point when I was in Indonesia, I had long blonde hair. So now you just mentioned you had long blonde hair. So did you ever have guests coming up to you asking very politely if they could touch your hair?
Yes, some of them would ask very much politely. Many of them would not ask at all.
Okay.
And they would literally just stand in front of you and take selfies with you. Like, you barely have time to strike out a pose or smile or anything, So that happens a lot. But what I loved the most about when I was having blonde hair, because now my hair is back to natural brown, is that the kids thought that I was a doll. And I loved it, because seeing the stars in the eyes of the kids coming at me for a hug because they thought I was some kind of Disney princess was absolutely amazing. Oh my God.
Then you had to tell them you're not a princess, you're in fact Dora the Explorer, right? And then, or no, you just let them think that you're a princess.
I would tell them I was Elsa, but Elsa, yes, right. I guess Dora would have passed also.
You kidding? Dora rocks. Wow. So this is pretty cool. I mean, that you go from, two villages in a row in China, two villages I'd never heard of before also, and then at one point you decided to come back to the American zone, to Cancun. Is that what happened?
Yeah. We decided to go back to Cancun. I missed the American zone a lot. And I just wanted to come back. I missed the beach. I missed the Hobie waves a lot. I missed the getaways. And so we asked to go back to American zone. We had the choice, to American zone, to another village. We had the choice between Bali and Cancun, and Cancun won. So So that's where we
Now,
went.
when you were in the Chinese villages one after another, did you ever get anything sent to you from home that you absolutely missed? Because I had my own thing where I took, I got something mailed that it was a craving I had. Did you ever do
Right.
that? Did you ever ask any of your family to send you?
We didn't. We actually didn't because
No.
there's a website in China called Taobao, which is the same as in the American zone. It's eBay or Amazon,
Yes.
and you can literally find anything on there. Like,
Really?
I was ordering a lot of protein, which I would get it from Taobao, but like from trusted sites of Taobao.
Wait a minute. Protein
Yeah,
powder?
yeah.
Why?
I don't know because I consume a lot of protein powder.
Okay, yeah. Weren't you getting it from the food? No.
Was that? Oh, well, yeah, but still, I get it from the food still now, but I still consume a lot of protein powder.
Okay. Alrighty, wasn't expecting that. Okay. I got a box of Mae West sent to me, and every single one was in a million crumbs. But anyway, it was
it was worth it. That's fine.
I stuck a straw in it and then I drank it. Okay. All right. So are you still with the boyfriend in Cancun? Is that why?
No.
No. Okay. You left him in China. Good for you. Okay. All right. So you're back in the singles villages. You're single. You're actually the chief of sailing, right?
Right. I was chief of sailing in Cancun.
Who's your chief of village there?
It was Abdel.
Okay. Adele. Who?
Abdel Osmani.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did you like Cancun? Lots to do there, huh?
I adored Cancun. God, it was a lot of fun.
What year? Sorry, Jen. What year are we now in Cancun?
In Cancun,
2017. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, but now it's when I was there, it was still single. So when you were there, it's now a family village, right?
Oh yeah, it was full family.
Okay. All right. Now you had Hobie cats there, right? And,
yes. We have a couple of 16s also, but yeah.
Okay. Now, let me guess. How long were you in Cancun?
Only there for 6 months.
Was your favorite nightclub Coco Bongo? True or yes or no?
No, Mandala.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think we had that. What made that one so special?
It was just a sailing team nightclub. That's where we went the first night I arrived, and I think that's where we went the last night before I left.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Wow. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And now I see you go back to Guilin.
Yeah.
You go back to China.
I think it was.
Now, why did you do that?
Well, that's where it gets very tricky.
Okay.
So I was sailing manager in Cancun, but again, because the port was closed a lot of times, which now with the new rules, we had to close sailing whenever the port was closed. So during
wait a minute. Sorry. The port where?
The port in Cancun.
Why is that?
Because of the water conditions.
Okay.
Like strong winds, water conditions. Now the port closes some days.
And do you mean the port in the village, like where the dock is? Is that what you?
No, the marina.
The marina.
The marina of Cancun.
But the marina of Cancun is not near the village of Cancun, right?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But because of the laws and regulations.
Oh, okay.
Of Cancun, yeah, we have to close the activity of sailing a lot of days. So during those days, I would with the boys, we would fix stuff at sailing, but there's so many things you can do. And so they would send us and help out the other activities. I would always end up in circus again. And I fell in love with circus.
I guess you learned everything then, right? Because I see that you were the circus manager when you went back to China, right?
When I went to China, oh yes. So when we left Cancun, it's because I wanted to move over to circus, but Club Med had too much of a need of me staying in sailing. But I did not want to stay in sailing, and I really wanted to move to circus. So I moved to New York City, and I took a 6-month break of Club Med, and I went to work for circus in New York City, where they literally taught me everything from A to Z about circus and trapeze. And then at that point, after the 6 months I did with them in New York, that's when I missed Club Med so much, and I wanted to go back. So I called at that time my first chief of village, which was now in HR offices in Miami, Mike Clark. I called Mike and I told him, hey, bud, I really want to go back to Club Med. I'll literally do whatever. So just let me know what's possible. And then I was supposed at that time, I think it was September 2017. Yes. So September 2017, I was supposed to go back to Turks as sailing chief. But then the hurricane happened. So it destroyed the entire village. Literally, like I think it was a week before I went back there. So I got stranded at home for 2 months, I think. And then in the meantime, I decided to go back to China. So with Mike, we sorted out with the Shanghai office to bring me back to China because I liked it so much the first time. And then as I went back to China, they decided to promote me to circus chief. So of course I said yes. And then boom, I went back to China for 2 years.
Okay, wait, two questions. Was the circus in New York, were you at Big Apple Circus?
No, it was iFly Trapeze. There was two old circus chief from Club Med that opened that company a few years back. They employ
what's it called?
iFly Trapeze.
iFly. Okay. Oh, okay. I think I've heard of this. Okay, iFly.
Yeah, the Rosamilia brothers. They were both circus chiefs in Club Meds before.
Okay. Now you wanted to be a circus manager so much you were willing to subject yourself to that horrible jet lag once again. This is what you're telling me. Oh my God.
I mean, but it's so worth it. Like China is so nice. I love China.
Oh no, I would love to go. But I'm still scarred by my Australia jet lag. I can still feel it. It was 22 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. This is crazy because then I see you change jobs once again, right? After
Cancun.
You go to Punta Cana.
Oh, right. 2 years later. Yeah.
2 years later. What do you mean? Why 2 years later?
Oh, because once I went back to Guilin in 2017, I stayed there 2 years.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So you must be very, very fluent in the language then. I didn't know you. So overall, how many years did you spend in China? 4?
3.
3. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, 3 total in China. Yeah.
You spent 2 years in that. Was it always the same chief of village? Your second time in Guilin?
No, we ended up having Olivier Niang, which is absolutely fantastic also. I don't think I've ever had, some people say they sometimes have bad chief of villages. I don't think I ever had one. All my chief of village were literally amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
So after 2 years, you decide I want to be guest relations in Punta Cana. How does that happen?
Well, because, I started after 2 years of performing and creating shows and doing trapeze, I was starting to get a little bit older and I was thinking, maybe it would be some times to get an actual career, a long-term career in Club Med other than something that breaks my bones every day. So after speaking with HR in Miami, we thought Punta Cana would be the best option because I would be able to do guest relations and the creative program that they had there with Cirque du Soleil at the time. So it all made sense at the time. So I was like, you know what, why not? Guest relations, it's talking to people and solving problems. So it's something that I'm actually very good at. So I said, why not? I'd take the challenge and try. So that's where I ended up.
Okay. Well, I'm interested in this because I'm a perfectionist, but I love when things go wrong to see if I can solve it, right? Like you have to solve it on the spot. So could you have a story where, I don't know, something went wrong with a wedding, or because I know you do a lot of conferences and weddings and Punta Cana. Yeah. So you have a story like that where something went wrong and you had to think fast or anything of that nature?
I mean, I don't think anything went ever that wrong.
That's good. That's good too, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, we would get guests that had reserved a certain type of room and it wasn't available. Like, for example, maybe there would be a curtain instead of a door and that would cause a big problem, but then we would find ways to make them happy, which I never thought of a bad situation because there was always solutions. But again, that's what Club Med is all about. Like your whole training with Club Med is always, there's never any problems. There's only solutions. And I think I literally drank the Kool-Aid too much. But it is true. Like I never see big problems. I literally only see solutions. So I don't think there was ever a bad situation. Oh, except COVID. But I mean, that was out of our hands.
Were you there for that?
Yes. So when COVID exploded, that's where we had to repatriate all the French people to France. And we weren't the one dealing with that. It was more the chief of village and the G5. So we were basically just helping out what they would tell us to do. But that was a little bit chaotic.
So this would have been, so you would have been in Punta Cana, March of 2019? Was that right? Is it? Or
2020,
yeah. 2020. Okay, 2020. That's right.
Yeah. I was
in wow.
Canada for that. Yeah.
Okay. Prior to that, though, were you hearing the news and thought,
I mean, yeah, we were hearing the news. And I remember my dad was telling me that they were supposed to go on a cruise ship in March to do a trip with my stepmom, whatever. And I would ask him like, hey, are you guys still gonna go? And my dad was like, oh, please, it's just the flu. And that's what I would tell people, like, oh, never mind. Like, my dad's in Canada, like, he's fine. He's still going on his cruise ship. And then I think I will always remember the day, I think it was March 17th. I was training in Creative. So I don't know if you guys know the Punta Cana layout, but you have the theater, and just right next to the theater, you have the Creative Circus area. So I was training there by myself, and I was stretching and doing my things, but I could hear the press conference of the Prime Minister. And I think forever, I will remember those words, but it was literally word for words, Canadians, it is time to come home. And I think my heart broke at that point. It was like, that's it, we're done. Like, we have to go. So I remember packing up all my stuff, putting chappies away so fast that I don't even remember if I had brought in the mat or not. And running to reception and looking at my chief of village and being like, PJ, are we actually going home? And then PJ with his big smile in his hair saying, of course not. We're going to keep you guys in the village. I'm like, great. So went on with our things at normal days. But then, 2 days later, during those 2 days afterwards, we had to repatriate all the people of France. So all the French people, but we still didn't have anything from the authorities of Canada. So we didn't know it was going to happen to us. But all the French people, the French GOs were repatriated back to France. And then it was only 2 days later, I think it was at 11:30 at night, that PJ got a call from the embassy saying that he has to repatriate all the GOs back home that is possible, because there were some GOs from different nationalities that were not able to go back home because either their countries were closed or there were no traveling flights available. Like people from Mauritius, for example, a lot of Mauritius got stuck in Punta Cana for a certain amount of time. People from Venezuela, Senegal, there was a lot of GOs got stuck in the village during COVID, but we all got sent back the next morning. It was an 8-hour warning to pack your bags and you're going home, and we don't know for how long. So that was a little bit weird, but again, that was not in our hands. It was in the hands of PJ and the G5s and the actual authorities. And
wow, that's some story. Okay.
That was a long story. I'm like,
no, but it's good to hear, the different point of view and what happened in that resort, like where you were, and because we all remember where we were, right? So you'll remember that forever. And you were actually in a resort. In our time, we couldn't imagine what we would have done, or what, how we would have reacted. But I guess, and you probably went home for a while, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when leaving, like PJ gave me this big hug saying like, I'll see you in 3 weeks. And I was like, yeah, but so I got into the van, and then leaving, I just had this feeling in my heart, like literally shattering. Like I'm leaving my actual family. Like it was so bad. But then I got home, I went to my dad's, obviously. And then we got quarantined for 14 days. And then we were there until 6 months later. We still didn't know what was going to happen, if the Club Med were going to open back again, what actually was COVID. It was still at that time that nobody had no idea what was going on. So I was home for a long time. Well, I'm still home, actually.
All right, we'll get into that in a bit. Okay, I'm going to try some rapid fire questions with you, right?
Go for it.
You ready? Favorite crazy sign?
God,
Asian zone or North American zone, doesn't matter.
Okay, Lovers in the Sun.
Oh, lower than the sun?
Lovers in the Sun.
Oh, Lovers in. There's a crazy sign to lover. Who sings that? Lovers in the Sun.
Who sings that? I don't know, but Julian Latraz does a great crazy sign.
Lovers in the Sun. Okay. Favorite dumb question from a GM? Kind of like, when's it going to stop raining? Did you ever encounter a really dumb question?
Can you make it less hot?
Okay. That's okay. That's a good favorite show that you were a part of.
What's it called? Oh no, I forgot. It's the Lion King that we did in China, but it wasn't called the Lion King. Circle of Life. There we go.
Circle of Life. I guess because of trademark or copyright infringement, they couldn't call it.
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. Circle of Life. You were a dancer in that?
Yes, I was Nala.
Okay. All right. Do you? This is just a modern day question. Okay. Do you have Do you have a recurring dream where you back at Club Med and you're working? Do you dream? Does this happen
God,
to you?
every day.
You have this dream.
Day. Of course.
Okay. You worked for Club Med from 2014 up until, well, we're going to talk about Charlevoix in a minute, but I'm going to include Charlevoix. Right. So 2014 to what? 2021?
2020. Yeah.
2020. Okay. All right. Now, so you said that you never really had a bad chief. You clicked with them all. So who were the ones that you clicked with?
Well, of course, Mike Clark, because he's the reason why I became a GO in the first place. So definitely Mike Clark. Rafi, which is a French chief of village. He's not a chief of village anymore. I think he's in Shanghai office now. Rafi Mehdi, of course. Mehdi was awesome also with his wife and the kids. Absolutely fantastic. Adele, just a legend. So, of course, Olivier Niang. Of all the chief of village I've had, if I had to pick one, I don't really want to, but if I had to pick one, it would be him. Olivier Niang and his wife and the kids, again, just absolutely beautiful people. God, chief of village, Julien Letraz, crazy person, but so amazing. He is a genius as a chief of village. God, who else did I have? PJ Cassidière, what a sweetheart. So also
where's he from?
France.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from France. I think he's in La Rosière right now.
Are there any memorable GOs that you worked with?
Of course. Well, Emily, I think you interviewed her not so long ago.
Oh, you worked with Emily Jensen?
I worked with Emily as sailing in Turks, and then I replaced her in Charlevoix.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's true. Yes. So
yeah.
So you also became a boutique GO for the first time in your life at Charlevoix, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how did you get to open the village? Like, did you reach out to them? They reach out to you? How'd that happen?
That was so random. That was so funny. I was actually just coming back from Turks and Caicos because I went on vacation with GMs that I had met as a GO in Turks 5 years ago. And they were all organizing a trip. And then I got the opportunity to join them. So I went for 2 weeks with them in Turks as a GM. And then I was just coming back. I think it was on December 3rd or 4th. And I was starting to plan out my winter here. And Emily called me and she's like, hey, like, you're just coming back from Turks. Would you be interested in coming and work at the boutique in Charlevoix? They need somebody, blah, blah, blah. Like, the manager is very cool. Francis is here, Francis Lacoste, the CDV. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I would have to talk to the manager because I have right now to this day, I have a normal job now that I call like a normal adult job. And my schedule of this job would have to work with this boutique schedule. But if we can make it work, absolutely. I'll go work for a month in Charlevoix. No worries. So Viviana, the manager in Charlevoix, the boutique, called me and then we made it work. She made me schedules around my actual work schedule. And I ended up in Charlevoix in the boutique.
Wow. So what's it like not wearing a bathing suit or t-shirt and a shorts?
It was weird because I was so tan too when I got there, right? Because I was just coming back from Turks.
That's right.
And people, like a lot of GOs were there that I had worked with before that I've known, and that they would see my story in Turks. And then they were like, on Instagram, and then they were like, what are you doing here? You were just in Turks. I was like, I know, like it kind of happened. So yeah, that was very weird being in Club Med and not seeing the beach. Okay. That was different.
All right. Yeah. So you mentioned, the social media. So yeah, obviously we didn't have that in my time, and there's a lot of people they're happy we didn't, but it'd still be pretty cool to have a phone and call someone for free and not pay long distance. I mean, that part would be appealing, I guess.
It's amazing. Like, to be honest, I think it's the best way to keep in touch with all the people that we've met in Club Med. Like, it's funny we say that because just a couple of days ago, I got a phone call from one of my friend Coco from Mauritius Island that I worked with for 2 years in China and circus. And I think we talked for like an hour, just catching up and whatnot, like video calling. So that was very, very good. And I still talk to a lot of GMs that I've met in Turks and other villages around the world, like very regularly on social media. So it's very, very nice.
Did you meet any celebrities at all in any of your time in Club Med? Or athletes, singers, dancers?
God, I probably did. But to be honest, I don't remember on top of my head.
Okay. No, yeah. I mean, you would remember if you did. So
I
was just curious. I mean, of course, when you're in China, you're famous, but we wouldn't know who.
Exactly. I know that happened in China. A lot of VIPs would come and a lot of celebrities, but I don't know them, so I wouldn't be able to tell you which ones they were.
Okay. All right. Now, this next question might be tough because you've worked at so many, beautiful and interesting resorts. So, is there one that you would choose overall, like, or use the word magical with, or?
Of course.
Really? Which one?
Of course, Turks.
Turks. Okay.
Turks and Caicos. It's just magic. Like,
yeah,
there's a vibe there. I don't know what it is, but we were talking about it too. Like, after being like, Cancun is fantastic also, like, don't get me wrong, but there is something about Turks. It's a vibe. It's the island that I don't know what it is, but there is something special in Turks.
Yeah, no, that's my magical one too. I was just curious of your experience. If you
Oh
thought
yeah,
that.
definitely Turks, where it all began too, so.
Am I missing? You have any more funny stories? I don't want to let you go because you've been so kind with your time. Like, if I forgot to ask you something, is there something else you wanted to share? Like, please.
Well, the reason I went to Turks is because my dad got married in Turks. He didn't get married in Club Med. He got married.
When you went to Turks, at what time? What point? Like
in 2014, like the first time I went to Club Med, like the one I had to choose.
Okay.
I chose Turks because that's where my dad got married.
I got married on the beach.
Yeah, at the beaches resort, but in Turks and Caicos. So I wanted to go to Club Med, Turks and Caicos.
Okay. All right. Yeah, fair enough.
Right.
All right. But the ceremony was conducted on the beach, like on the sand?
The beach. Yes,
wow.
On the beach. Yeah.
Oh, it's not, those beach weddings are nice, eh?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. Okay. But nothing funny happened at that wedding, right? Okay.
No.
Okay,
no,
good,
not
good.
that one.
So, okay, well, yeah, I mean, please, yeah, I don't want to let you go if I forgot to. Did I forget to ask you anything, or I know we covered a lot?
I don't think so. Oh, in Charleroi, I ended up doing I did boutique for a month, and then they needed help with circus numbers. So since I was already working from my laptop, like my job let me work from my laptop from anywhere, basically. So I was able to join the Charleroi team for the whole season until April as a Club Med artist for circus.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Yep. That's pretty cool.
I did, that was pretty awesome, actually. That was very, very good. Like I would work my normal job during the day, and then I would train with the circus team and then perform the shows at night. So it was like the best of both worlds.
How far, like, because you're from Quebec City, right? So how far is the Charlevoix from your
it's about an hour on the resort. But yeah, so it was an hour and a half. So I would come down, let's say every Sunday, and do my, like, because I live in an apartment here, so I would do all my home things on that Sunday, and then I would go back.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Wow. You've had some life there.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really do want to thank you sincerely for taking the time to talk to me. And,
you're more than welcome.
Share your story.
This is awesome.
So if any, one last question, if any future GO is listening to this and they're, on the fence about applying, should they apply and give it a try?
Oh God, yes. And not even just young people, anybody. That's so funny because I see a lot of nurses out here, like, that I talk to on social medias or here in Quebec City, whatever, that they're like, oh, I've thought about it. Go, especially nurses, because when you go to Club Med as a nurse, not only are you a nurse, but you're also a GO. So it's like best of both worlds again. So it's like a paid vacation while getting paid. So it's fantastic. Just go, people, go do it. Experience this at least 6 months of your life. At least you got to do it.
Well, there you have it. I could not have said that better. Let's go. Let's all go.
Let's go right now.
Don't tempt me. Okay. I'll do it.
I mean, it's not a lie. We all want to go back, like all of us ex-GOs, we all want to go back to and work full-time as GOs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm getting tired of people Concordia asking me, why'd you ever leave? I don't know. Stop asking me. Okay. I'm an idiot.
But
I'm an idiot. There you go.
It's true. So don't ever leave, people.
Yeah. Stay as long as you can.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Well, everyone, that was Jennifer Keys from Quebec City. And once again, big thank you, Jen. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you. That was so much fun.
And don't hang up right away. Okay. We're just going to say our bye-byes now. Okay. So We'll see you all next week. Bye, everyone. Say bye, Jen.